What's up, internet? So my bumper sticker, Eat the Rich, was falling off the back of my car. Yeah, I just got done fixing it, gluing it back on there. Yeah, I put glue under it. First I washed it off with this, and then I put glue under it and held it down with magnets, and now it's all better. I just kind of want to talk about Eat the Rich. First Kill the Rich came out, where they were, that was the Joker. And then I later was like, Eat the Rich. And it was like something I fucking felt. It was like when I'm writing like a general consensus vibe. And that took on like wildfire. Eat the Rich. It's fucking everywhere now. Everyone knows that phrase. So I'm hoping like awareness about the so-called secret gov and stuff will also gain popularity. No slavers, right? No sex slaves. I'm totally fine if you open your door and all these chicks want to hang out with you, you're their favorite person. I don't care. You know, when they're economically manipulated, chemically manipulated, religiously manipulated, geographically manipulated, when they're literally in cages, then it's it's definitely a humanitarian problem. I have the same compassion toward animals, right? I don't think cows should be food. I don't think like the slaughter of animals is good. I'm definitely for like waiting until we have something better, like a new food or whatever. I'm a huge fan of corn, huge fan of potatoes. I actually believe in like milk, like udders and stuff, but it would be nice if we had like new options. Obviously our bodies can handle a lot more than nothing, right? Our bodies can handle a very rich and diverse nutrient quality. It doesn't have to be homogenized, like this is the calorie paste or whatever. I think we could have other things. So yeah, anyway, Eat the Rich has to do with an answer to complete domination by the wealthy class. The wealthy class want to have it all for doing nothing. The wealthy class want to live in mansions and say that they are just the privileged type that gets to do that, and have all the poor build it, and the wealthy at the end of the day are going to look in the mirror and go, I'm better than them, right? And so that's where Eat the Rich comes from, is a real answer that it's like, when they're talking about things like water is not a human right, then it becomes Eat the Rich. Yeah. It's a strong political sentiment. Eat the rich. No questions what side of things you're on. It doesn't mean you're poor. It means that you're not the slaver class. And I don't mean rich like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's like head slave. Warren Buffett's like a classmate who did every assignment and has a pile of badges at the end of the year. He's not actually the ruling class, He's like one of us dedicated to the way. But they're so tacky, like Donald and Warren both drink a lot of Coke, and it's like, oh, you invest in Coke though. Coke is one of your holdings, and so you have to support it so your money does better. It's super tacky. So yeah, holographic money is meant to make money better. Instead of George Washington number trillion, each dollar has a picture of your life as you really lived it, so it's a collectible. It's a collectible about how you are. So, Eat the Rich is a concession. Oh shit, people are visiting. Oh, they're using me to turn around. We got the Explorer buggies, the big dune buggies. I'm trying to figure out where to go. Not here. Some off-road buggies. I can't wait till they're all electric, let me tell you what. Yeah. This would be really cool for like recharging my scooter if this thing was like solar AC. That would be absolutely awesome. The AC, there's enough solar panels up top that I can run an air conditioner all day and recharge my scooter. That would be insanely cool. Maybe I'll like visit a specialty shop and ask about it. So, because right now it would drain my battery. I could only recharge it while the car was running, which isn't really optimal. So whatever. Yeah. So anyway, Eat the Rich. He's talking about Eat the Rich, and these people with quads show up. That's like working class, I hope. The bad answer is that they have all this stuff and they don't do anything for it. They have some holding, right? Let's talk about entitlements. The rich convince the poor that an entitlement is expecting not to starve, or an entitlement is expecting some help on housing, or the entitlement is expecting that when you're old, you'll get taken care of. They think that's an entitlement. And then what do the rich do? They have titles. They literally own things that pay them because they're the owner by name. And so that's like, the rich convince the poor they have entitlement when the rich is nothing but titles. You said the building is yours. That's a bigger entitlement than saying I shouldn't starve when I'm old. Right? When I can't work anymore, society will be like, here's a sandwich. Right? They want you to think that's an entitlement. So that's where Eat the Rich comes from. Eat the Rich comes from not really the like wealthy working class, somebody who, let's say, has a job manufacturing cars and makes and saves money and has like his own house and stuff like that. That person is a noble to me, right? That person is, you work all day and you got a property, 1,000% I support you. Not hating on you at all. You don't work at all and you want to be rich. That's the toxic God class that I don't freaking agree with. This idea that God will provide, you're trading the circumcision of youth for a like jailer position from the government. The government is putting you in charge of others and giving you material boons for supporting their lie, right? And so what you don't see is that you're betraying babies like a pedo just for some free stuff. That's why I say Eat the Rich. Eat the Rich comes from just really like a nasty, unfair system. So, yeah. Definitely the type of wealthy I'm talking about has a lot for doing nothing. Yeah, the type of rich I'm talking about is like, I ought to be a billionaire and I'm not going to do anything for it, right? And then I want to have a giant mansion, right? And I have never done anything like the work required to build one. Can you imagine how much work it would take if you actually gathered all the raw materials and actually put it together? It would take so much work. It would take an individual 10 years, right? It would take an individual 10 years to do that amount of work. And then you want it for free just because you're popular, right? That's the rich I'm talking about eating, right? You have a real job or you live humbly. Like, yeah, someone who's like living on disability assistance is disabled. I am for stopping people with like genetic conditions from breeding, because I haven't had kids myself. Because you don't want to make people who are tortured. I'm also for like mercifully giving a wet bath, a wet nap to people who have massive birth defects, because nobody wants. Oh shit! Don't run that over. He sees it. All right. Thanks for not running my solar panel over. You didn't see me earlier? They went around and came back. I got frowned at. I got my solar panel out and they missed it, fortunately. So, yeah. See, they're not the rich. You got 2 quads. That's like moderately rich. If they were rich, they would be on their own property. If they were rich, they would have their own fucking land. They wouldn't be out here in public land. You know what I mean? So yeah, you have a respectable job, you have an income and a home and a property. I'm not hating on you at all. I don't want to give you one text. I'm not saying eat you. The problem with saying eat the rich is a bunch of people who are not the rich think we're talking about them. We're talking about slavers. We're talking about people who use you like you use cows, right? So saying eat the rich is actually a profound turn of circumstances because they're used to eating you, sometimes literally, right? There's that statue in Switzerland of that man eating babies. Or is it Sweden? I can't remember. It's one of those. So, are you going to do all the work? Is all the stuff yours? The world is filled with people who said no and then yes. No, I'm not going to do any work. Yes, all this stuff is mine. Right? And so where do they live and what do they look like? Well, they look like they have titles. They have entitlements like Lord, Baron, you know. These are people who are in high levels of government, right? They have a mansion and they've never done the work like building a mansion. So that's the real rich. That's who I'm talking about when I say eat the rich, right? People who have private harems. So yeah, I'm definitely for there being a like holographic money 333 basic income, 33 on the time. That's cool. And then government being capped at 666, and then like the people who actually work will make money. But this idea that you can just like become super rich because God gave it to you, I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. I think that's a scam. I think you took material power in exchange for supporting circumcision of babies. And I think that that is incredibly toxic and bad. So yeah, eat the rich because they eat you. These are people who at the end of the day look in the mirror and say, I'm better than you. These are people who at the end of the day think that they're a different type of species than the poor, right? And they live on the backs of the poor. They want the poor to do all the work. They won't. They want the poor to do everything they are absolutely unwilling to do. So that's who is the target of eat the rich. It's not people, it's not someone who works a manufacturing job and has a modest house. Not you at all. Not you at all. It's not somebody who you can get wealthy and powerful serving others for sure. It's somebody who basically has been like that pyramid head rising off the pyramid, is that they've tried to use slaves to ascend their own lifestyle. That's who I'm talking about, eat the rich. I live pretty simply. I do. I get paid more now than basic income would pay me. But I believe in it because I'm tired of seeing old people have to work. I'm also tired of seeing all these businesses in competition to each other. I'm tired of hearing all the bailouts all the time. How's the money supposed to work if it's printed at your debt and taxed? Money makes you work. That's the secret. It's not the money works. The money makes you work. People all the time who aren't intelligent try to say like, oh, I'm a liberal or I'm this or that. No, I'm not. You can't criticize Donald Trump or Elon Musk without being called a libtard, which is like, not a libtard. Never voted for a Democrat. I don't have any Democrat TV shows. I criticize them out of rational consequences. I saw things and had to say it because that's what it was. So, yeah. Maybe I can put a card on that. Some flat thing. I don't really have anything around here. But yeah, eat the rich has to happen. You have to identify who the parasite class is, and it's not the poor. You're talking about people with major disabilities who can't get a disability check because they don't have any money for a lawyer or a doctor, right? You're talking about people. Imagine you're hit in the head every day from your dad because that's what the religious book says, and then you can't fucking think about your life because you're ruined, right? Imagine that. And then imagine you want that. You're going to blame that person for being lazy, right? That's just a slaver, man. That's a slaver. So it is Eat the Rich. I support Eat the Rich. I do. I'm not talking about the people who have, modestly earned things. I'm talking about the people who want to live free for enslaving everybody. That's who Eat the Rich is. That's who Eat the Rich is targeting. And it should happen for the future of man. You should pull them out of their houses and rip them apart and consume them. And it should be the known forever that we did that it got to the point. Just like how France has always known that France guillotined all its people, you should fucking eat them. Rip them out of their freaking palaces and consume their bodies. These people put you through things they would never do. So, yeah, Eat the Rich.